welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha. We're gonna do a book review today. Get cozy, get comfy. It is a Christmas book review, so I'm probably gonna put this one up before Christmas. Fingers crossed I can remember to do that, so you have a chance to read it if you want to. We are reviewing The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. This was my first Lucy Score book ever, and this was read for my book club that is meeting the second week of December. So it's November 26th right now. I finished it in plenty of time. Very proud of myself. Let's hope I stay on this trend. This is for the book club I'm a part of, not the book club I'm running. And I also read this book with my very cute bookmark. Camera, you need to focus on how cute my bookmark is. Hold on, I'll fix this problem. I'm a problem solver, okay? Oh yeah, there's the bookmark. Deck the halls with books and coffee. Blah la 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 la. I read too much. That's my bookmark. I make them and sell them and drop them on the ground at dreamingofstarsco.etsy.com. If you want to check out a little stocking stuffer, a little gift for yourself, you know, you can do that there. I did do some cursory internet searches to see, because I've never really, I know Lucy Score is like a popular romance author, but I have never heard anything that made me interested in her books, because I don't typically go for straight contemporary. I like a sporty contemporary romance, I like a dark romance, I like a mafia romance, I like an Omegaverse, I like a fantasy romance. So she wasn't totally on my radar. So when I heard that this was our book, I did a little bit of research on her as an author. I was looking to see if there was anything problematic I needed to know going into this. And when I looked up her name, there were links to, like, racism throughout her books. But when I clicked on the link to try and find the discussion or to try and find the video, I couldn't find it. It was like, it was so weird. It's almost like people just Googled those three words together, like her name and racism, so many times that it put it into the algorithm, but I couldn't actually find any facts that that's true or that she's written in a racist way in the past. So if you have any information on that, you can leave it in the comments below, because I personally couldn't find any actual evidence that that is true, okay? So the other thing you need to know about this book is it opens and primarily deals with, I didn't read anything about the synopsis, so maybe it says it there. It deals with a hurricane and pretty severe flooding in the Northeast. It also has on the page water rescues. The whole rest of the book deals with them fixing up this town that was damaged from the flooding. So there is no escaping it. If you were emotionally, physically, mentally impacted by Hurricane Helene or Hurricane Milton this year, this book is maybe not the sweet Christmas story you want to pick up right now. I would skip it, honestly, because there's no getting around the fact that the town was underwater, that people were in danger, no one dies, no one gets, like, really permanently injured or anything, but it's still extremely traumatic and triggering with what happened this year in sort of a similar area southeast of the US. Aside from that, this was a very cute story. I did really enjoy the pacing of this. It's dual POV, but sort of in like a third person type of way, where we're not in each character specifically. They don't use the words I to describe what's going on, so it's still a little bit removed from the characters, but we do follow each, like, we follow the female main character and we follow the male main character when they're not together and when they are together. So we definitely see different aspects of their lives throughout the story, which I did appreciate. There's a really good cast of peripheral characters. We have her family, we have his family, we have the townspeople. It's a really small town. Everyone knows everyone, which is very important. Put a pin in that for when they start secretly dating, which ends up not being a secret at all. Everyone knew the whole time. The male main character does a great job at being extremely unlikable and misogynistic from the very beginning of the book, because our female main character is a reality TV star who works in sort of like the home renovation shows. She obviously, like, not obviously, you haven't read it, but she grew up with her family doing sort of home renovation type stuff and then transitioned into a TV star doing home renovations. But he only sees her as this vapid Hollywood star, and she was in the town previously to do a home renovation for a family, so she already has connections, and the last time she was there, some stuff went down that gave him the wrong impression of her, and it takes two of the male characters who are her friends sitting down with our male main character and being like, you gotta get over this. This is not who she is as a person. You just need to change this attitude. Okay, you got it wrong. And here's what the deal is. So it took two of the men in the story coming to the other man to be like, this is not it, bro. This is not a good look. And it was a very interesting switch, because he went from being so grouchy and just like hating everything to a puppy dog who was doing everything he could to kiss her ass and to make it up to her and to protect her. And it was a bizarre, like, complete, there was no middle ground where he was still questioning. He was just immediate, like, I love her. So that was a little jarring, a little direct, I suppose. I will say this story had some extremely sweet moments between these two characters, and they made, like, after that point in the book, they made all the right decisions together, and I did tear up at least twice when some of these confessions were happening, and just, like, such sweet moments and really beautiful sort of, like, growth and understanding, and I really liked those sections of the book. However, there was one thing that bothered me a lot, and I didn't realize how much it bothered me until I was typing out my review. And I do have autism, so sometimes my processing speed can be much slower. When I was reading the book, I was noticing all of these things happening, but I was just like, oh, that's annoying, oh, that's annoying. It wasn't until I was writing down my review that I was like, fuck this. This is... So, our main female character has thoughts on food, and as someone who has a very poor relationship with food for multiple reasons, works with a therapist on it, and just like, I'm allergic to a ton of food. There are so many things that go into my personal relationships with food. This was so infuriating to read about. Every time food is brought up, it's not just like, oh, I need to eat certain things to be strong because I work in construction, which would have been fine. I get that. Eating to fuel your body and to keep your muscle mass, like, completely, 100% agree with that. But she was talking about eating or not eating to look good on camera, to keep her Hollywood star figure, to continue to look like this reality TV star. Every time they opened her fridge, which they did more than once, it was everyone commenting on like, oh, it's empty, it's water and a salad kit. Anytime she went out to a restaurant or went to eat, she's like, God, I really want this, like, greasy cheeseburger, but I'll just get, like, this really disgusting salad and, like, a green smoothie. And every time she commented on food or, like, letting herself have something, it would then be like, well, my trainer at 5 a.m. tomorrow is going to kick my ass, and I'm going to have to work off all these calories, and I'm going to be laying there exhausted. There was no time that food is brought up and it didn't directly translate to, oh my God, if I eat that, I'll be fat. It even got to the point, this was, for me, the most egregious one, where her boyfriend was like, hey, if I order pizza tonight, are you gonna eat a slice? Like, are you gonna eat any this time, since you didn't eat any pizza the last time we got it? And she's like, maybe I might even eat 2 this time. And it was just like, why are we okay with this woman not eating? Like, he purposefully, one of the main things he does to show her that he's like sorry, he fully stocks her fridge. Why are we not commenting on the fact that, like, she's not eating, she's not taking care of herself? And it's not because she's trying to be strong, it's because she doesn't want to be fat. It's just, oh my gosh, it drove me so nuts. And then another, like, layer to this is that when they would have sex, he would comment, "You're so built." If a man ever said that to me while we were intimate, get out. Get your clothes on. Get out. I'm so built? That is... I can't. I think... I'm very interested because I think when I go to my book club meeting and we talk about this, I don't know that anyone else is going to have the same feelings I do about that part of the book, because I don't know, I think I'm so sensitive to, number one, like, your personal relationship with food, and number two, fat being bad. Like, those are things... I have a bad relationship with food, number one, and I don't think being fat is bad, number two. Like, I seek out fat representation in books because it feels good to read about a main character who isn't obsessing over, like, I'm bigger than everyone else, I don't fit in this. Like, it even gets kind of frustrating with Poppy in From Blood and Ash, when she comments on, like, being bigger than everyone else, but also, like, she is such a tough warrior woman, and it's just, yeah, so that's my one, like, major complaint, is the eating disorder, or the disordered eating that was in this that triggered me so very badly. And I don't know if anyone else is going to have that same experience reading this, or if they're just going to brush it off and be like, well, that's not how she meant it. Well, I need you to understand how someone who does have disordered eating internalizes that monologue and internalizes all of her own thoughts regarding her body and food, and it was just a bad time for me. It was such a bad time that even though I liked the love story, I liked the writing, I liked the plot, I liked the way that this was written, I'm too scared to try any more Lucy Score books in case this, like, weird food and eating and body image thing is in all of them. I don't want to try more. I would have to go to someone who's read all of her books and be like, here's my issue with it. Does this come up again in other books and other characters? And if they said, I see your point, I see what you saw in this book, and no, it doesn't happen again, then I would try some of her other stuff. So, I did give this like a 3.5, because I did really like the writing, and I did really like the romance. The only bad thing for me was the food issue, and the other bad thing for me was the hurricane stuff. There were some, like, weird words and phrases, like the way she talked about hair a lot was very bizarre to me too. But those are the only complaints I really had. I think if you don't have food issues at all, if you're very comfortable in your own body and you can separate yourself from a character, I think, yeah, you could like this as just a Christmas story. But as someone who doesn't have a good relationship with food and has had people her whole life call her fat and comment on what she's eating, this was extremely triggering for me, and those parts made me upset. So, unfortunately, it wasn't a great time, but, like, if we took all of that out, this book would be like a 4.5, 4.75, because I did really like the romance, I did really like the writing, I liked everything else except for that part. So, unfortunately, it's not all good, and I feel so bad, but I also want to warn people and be like, is this just me? And if it is just me, that's fine. Because I know how my brain works, and I know that I do have a very black or white way of thinking about things, so could totally be me. Anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. I hope I didn't ruin your Christmas spirit. I do have another Christmas book, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, that I'm going to be reading and reviewing hopefully soon. I actually was wondering if I want to read it, like, start reading it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after, but then I won't have a review up in time for you to read it. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I'll definitely have another Christmas book review video soon, hopefully. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!